Hello everyone, in this video I want to share with you the 3-step that's going to help you shift timeline at will and command your nervous system so that you can shift your identity on a nervous system level. Okay, so stay tuned because what I'm going to share with you is not just identity shifting technique, but the steps that leads to an identity shift that is impossible to reverse, which I call it irreversible. So let's get to it, okay? Be sure to book a clarity call with me and see if Magnetic Authority Programmed is the right fit for you. So get right into it. The first step, it's going to be awakened to the power of conscious creation. What do I mean by that? It's not about you just knowing about it, just thinking about it. It's not like, oh, I know conscious creation. I know that, you can create from consciousness. I don't mean that. I mean you are actually vibrationally awakened and live by that law, because that's how it's going to work for you, okay? What does it mean, conscious creation? It means that you understand and you know for a fact that your state of being, I can say your frequency, your thought, your emotions, it's going to create your reality, not the other way around. Everything that ever exists in the physical, circumstantial worlds, everything ever created is always first created in thoughts and feeling in a state of being. Okay? So it's never the other way around. Awaken to the power of conscious creation means that you know and understand and is awakened to this truth so that you can start reverse engineer. This is almost like a mindset, but I want to say it's deeper than that, but you have to start with the right mindset, okay? Otherwise, you're going to be one of the reason, and I already talked about this in one of my video, that people struggle to manifest with ease and enjoyment is that they still believe and identified with the circumstantial world. It's almost like you're playing a video game versus you are a video game designer, and you can't really be designing your game if you're playing as a player. You know what I mean? If you're in there, in the matrix. So you have to really awaken and believe. It does really requires a fundamental mechanism of faith for this to even work. But that's the foundation of it, of the thing. So that's step 1. Make sure that if you say you believe, now is the time, okay? Now is the time, especially when it's hard. That's when you say you believe, because if you believe, then that's the best time to believe, okay? So that's the first step. Be awakened and aware of the conscious power of conscious creation, which means that it's not that you have results. It's not that you look out into the results to feel a certain way and think a certain thing. It's not how it works. It's not the law. You are doing it kind of backwards if that's what you're doing, okay? Conscious creations is that you create from your state of being, feelings, thoughts, and from there comes out the inspired actions, and you're not really chasing anyone or anything. You're just doing you. It's always like that. Let them wait, okay? So the second step is that this I call the second step, but it's comprised of 2 fundamental things, like 2 important elements. Now you have the foundation, you are connected, you have access to infinite intelligence. In this part, It's called embodying your new state / confronting your limiting identity. Okay, it's 2 in 1. You embody your new identity all at the same times, confronting your old identity, your limiting identity. And why is that? Okay, this is a very sort of like it's an incredible insight I'm giving you here, because if you do exactly as I say, I guarantee you're gonna wake up in a reality that is impossible to reverse. Okay, and there are many small tricks and little like slippery part that people meet. I've worked with so many people to help them shift their timeline, and I know exactly where is the slippery slope. And in this part, when you embody the new state, confronting your old identity, do you know what is the thing that people usually stuck in the most? Okay, people get stuck here because they confront their limiting identity from their very limiting identity. So they're basically fighting fire with fires. They're fighting darkness with darkness, and that's just not how it works, babes. Okay, it's not how it works. In this part, when you embody your new state, you're supposed to confront your limiting identity with your empowering identity, which is your highest self, which is your authentic self. Okay, you don't just argue. Okay, you embodying power with no opposition. You say, oh, I'm not asking for your input. Okay, but of course we have to confront it in a very acknowledging way. We're not dismissing, we're not bypassing, we're confronting your limiting identity with your real identity. That's how you transcend boundaries and limitations, right? With endlessness. So in this part, it's gonna be a very thorough. You have to be very specific. You have to be very mindful, aware. You have to list out to yourself the limiting stories and the limiting parts where you reaffirm and reinforce your limiting identity. Oh, which story is that? Which stories I'm telling myself? Which part of me, right? That sounds limiting, that sounds hard. And whatever feels hard, that's your limiting identity speaking. Wherever you have to look out in the world to see an answer, be like, oh, like what about this person, that person? Oh, what if this thing is like that? What if next year is like that? What if last year is like that? Oh, it has to be like this and that and that and that. Oh, but this is not enough time, too much time. Yeah, that's how you know that's your limiting identity. No problem. Embrace it. Definitely don't judge. But we are going to meet that, confront that with your authentic identity, your highest self. So, I told you again, I'm going to tell you again, the mistake that people meet here the most is that they want to solve their limitation from a place of limitation itself. You want to think yourself out of it? No, you can't outthink your identity. You can only confront it from a completely different frequency, and that's how you do it. You cannot fight the beast of judgment with justification. You meet it with hope, you meet it with love, you meet it with a deep inner knowing, right? You meet it with light. You meet it with like, oh, did I ever thought that? Was that what I was telling myself? Wowza, that's new. Okay, so anyway, the more specific that you get, the deeper the work that you go within yourself, the more you conquer the edge of your consciousness, the more powerful you're gonna feel, and you're gonna know it. It's not something that you make up. Yeah, you're gonna feel it. It's gonna feel surreal. You know it, okay? So, important. And of course, it's one thing to listen to what I'm saying, but it's even more important thing to get on board with what I'm saying and actually doing the thing for yourself, actually showing up for yourself. Because otherwise, you're gonna be in the conceptual world. You don't actually integrate it on a frequency, on a vibrational level, and that's what we're getting. That's why people out there, they say, information cannot give you transformation. Experience can. And when they say experience, what they're saying is frequency, vibration. So when you're listening and receiving this information, be open and receptive to the vibration that comes with it, not so much just the information itself. Because words carry a certain vibration to it, and the space that I'm creating here is potent. So just by showing up for yourself and be present, you can definitely experience a shift. Okay, so the third step that I'm talking about here is amazing and powerful, and this is gonna be cementing your identity into your fairy tale world, into your heart desires, and whatever that is that you belong, wherever that is that your highest self belong. We're talking the identity, right? Now we're talking the environment. The third step is called, and note this down, creating transformative relationships. So in this step, what we're going to do, okay, what you gotta do is that you gotta be accessing and or re-establishing relationships. It means that it means that you're gonna have a very deep conversation with yourself, a very deep and honest conversation with yourself about who you are, right? And what you're gonna do with your life, just so you know, okay? And you can talk to other or not, but of course here is creating transformative relationships. So obviously I want to say that when you're already in the right state, you kind of like naturally know and be at ease with your inspired action. So it's going to be natural. Okay, these steps I tell you so that you know the concept, the structure, but it doesn't really just like, oh, step 1, step 2. It's not like that. It's a deep meditative state of being really honest and present with your true essence. And everything is gonna flow out of it like a ballet, okay? Like a very natural process. It's not like it's not like, oh, I gotta do this and then I gotta do this and then I gotta do it. Don't do that. Don't do it like that, okay? Just feel it into yourself, because again, this is about the state of being. Feel it into yourself, and yeah, again, follow the step, because the step is gonna help you to deepen into the deep work that you showed up for yourself. But again, don't mistake the pointing finger for the thing. Okay. So, more on this. Transformative relationships is where you're gonna be seeing the relationship, like having important like conversation or sharing with the important people in your life, and or right, creating new relationship that is in alignment with your higher self, and letting go. Very important thing that many people fail to do. Letting go of relationships that no longer serves you in your higher reality. Otherwise, you're gonna keep pulling you back like this. It's gonna be like a game. What is that game? Is it yo-yo? Okay, whatever. Frisbee? Boomerang? What is that? I don't know. Anyway, this by no means has anything to do with keep replacing people in your life, okay? This by no means is like being, is not like that. It's like, and it's not like, again, I tell you that if you don't feel the inspired action, you don't have to do it. You're gonna do something that feels authentic to how you're feeling, and it's your way of being yourself, and that's what I'm talking about. That's all that I'm saying, okay? So a part of it is creating relationships. In nature, you want to create transformative relationship that enhance your authentic highest version. That's what you want. So anything that is not that is not that. So that is the nature of this step. And so the thing is that when it comes to this part, sometimes people find it hard to let go of certain relationships, or they find it hard to create new relationship. And the key here, okay, I'm gonna tell you so that you don't have to spend so much time struggling in this boomerang effects. The key here is that it is not your job to think very hard about what you have to do or don't have to do. You know what I mean? It's not like that. The thing here is that you keep the focus on yourself, and you be so connected to yourself and so honest with yourself, and so you're just so close and so connected to yourself that you know who you are and what your life is about. So what your life is about. Are you about that life? Then yeah. Are you not? But if you're not, then you're just not. It's nothing personal. So coming from this space, you will understand how to naturally create transformative relationship that completely feels like an unfolding of a fairy tale. And in this space, many times, the relationship that is falling out or coming in deeper serves you all highest good in the most beautiful way you can imagine, because you are not acting from your limiting identity. So you won't be having limiting thoughts and negative feeling anymore. Remember, you want to meet and confront your limiting identity with your authentic highest self. We're not meeting limitation with limitation. You know what I mean? We want to meet limitation with expansions, with beautiful, delicious expansion. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, these are the 3 steps that once you do them, okay, you're gonna be commanding your identity on a nervous system level. And I don't really care what is that specifically you're wanting to manifest. It always comes back to yourself. What you truly want to manifest is that version of yourself that is that fun. That's what you want, right? So because in this video, right, these are the 3 big steps. So now I'm gonna tell you the exact 3 steps in here, okay, in this part, because I know that many people, you guys have questions on how to embody the new state and confront your limiting identity in the way that is best, fast, efficient, guarantee that it works and is smooth. So this is what we're getting to. The 3 steps to embody your new I'm sorry, it was not intentional, sorry. The 3 steps to embody your new state and confront your limiting identity is that, first of all, you want to have a daily rituals, okay? Especially when you know, this is the time when you get your hands in the clay and doing the sculpting. It's almost like sculpting a sculpture, is that right? Painting an art. This video I'm talking about, you getting your hand in the mud and you having that real-time transformation thing. Okay, so the 3 things I want you to do, the first one is daily rituals. So whatever this is that you can consider a rituals for you. I've seen manifestors even use content creation as a rituals. Sometimes, many times, what works wonderful for people is meditation. Okay, meditation rituals. You can go to the gym. You can be having a walk, writing and declarations. I know people who use affirmations, right? The thing is, this has to work with you and keep you on a potent frequency. So that's about daily rituals. The thing with daily rituals is that you want this to be almost like an anchor conditioning, that you condition your frequency. And this is almost like creating future session. It doesn't have to be long, but it has to work for you. Second step is intentional decision making. This is a part when you really go out into life and meditate in life, in motion. Being in a deep meditative state, observe yourself, being mindful about your decision making. You want to make decisions that enhance your identity, not undermine it. Okay? And then the last step is actually integrated in what we talked about before, creating transformative relationships, especially with yourself. Okay? So these are the 3 small steps that is embedded in embodying your new state and meeting your limiting identity with power. So very simple, very straightforward. And to end this video, I'm going to tell you that the thing that you're going to meet with the most, that is most likely gonna slow down the process, is judgment. So you have to learn how to almost make this like a game for yourself, almost see this like a game for yourself, instead of ever really beating yourself up or judging yourself over something, because it's only gonna slow down the process. Usually when people experience judgment, and especially self-judgment, it makes everything heavier and slower to move, is because you're in a certain state of impatient. You're feeling desperate, you're feeling impatient, you're feeling not really good, a little bit desperate for results. And that is where you have to really, really stabilize yourself in this framework, again, conscious creation, again, embodying your new state, transformative relationship. So when people experience this sense of impatience, it's very easy for you to start falling off the track and judging yourself on what you're doing. And I'm here to tell you that don't do that, okay? Just be aware if you have any sense of judgment around how you're doing things. Be aware if, like, you know, how well you're implementing the steps, and that's it. So be aware so that you can see things clearly for yourself. And definitely, judgment is a part of your limiting identity. So you can't meet it with more judgment, explanation, or justification. You can only meet it with power. You can only meet it with consciousness. So what you can definitely do is gain awareness over any those part of yourself that feels limiting, hard, heavy, and that is a part of the work. So that's it for this video. Definitely catch me on live. So my plan is that I'm gonna be sharing live session video, like teachings on this concept that helps you command your nervous system, shift your identity, and like just have absolute command over your nervous system. I mean, many people, you know, you can obviously do this to manifest a new reality or a specific thing, to shift into a specific reality. But I like to use it, I like to call it as nervous system command because, sorry. That's really what you're after. So, if this resonates with you and you would like to really say yes, show up for yourself, book the clarity call with me and see if magnetic authority is the right fit for you. Be sure to check out others' live sessions so that you can learn more about the details that we don't have enough time to go into in this video. And I'll see you inside. Goodbye.